science, they talk about midlife crisis. Suddenly people don't know what to do with themselves, life getting meaningless. If you have prepared yourself well, either with education or some skill or yoga or inner dimensions of your life, if you have prepared yourself on any of these things, that is the time when it can propel, or that is the time when it can start crashing. 60 is a tremendous possibility. This is why in this culture, if you… at the age of 60, there are various rituals to do. If you're a married person, when you become 60, you get married once again so that it becomes a new possibility, that it is not a trap, it is not a bondage, becomes a possibility. That is the idea of 60 years of, when people become 60, they get married once again to the same person. You have to specify this today Today you have to specify this, otherwise it was always understood that way So you marry the same person once again because when you married at 20 or 25 or whatever age, body was dominant. At 60, your consciousness could be dominant and there are new possibilities. A whole lot of people burst forth at this time, but by then a lot of people are sick, they got various problems and they're carrying baskets of karma on their head. Because of this, by 60, their back may be bent and they're defeated and their visits are only to medical spaces, not to sacred spaces, but to doctors and psychiatrists and stuff like this. If you've gone there, you will miss that bus also. So, whether married people go through these kind of things, others go through other kinds of rituals, and many people start their yogic sadhana only at 60, but for all this, you must at least keep yourself in a reasonable shape and form. If you're trying to imitate Mother Earth, or you become sick in various ways, then that possibility will not be available. The first quarter is 21. Up to 21, if you lose a parent or if you lose a child below 21 years of age, the pain will not just be emotional, it'll be physical, it will manifest in the body because there is a strong runanubandha. But beyond 21, it is largely psychological and emotional because what you call as a parent is the basis of this body. There is a very deep memory connection between the two that is at its strongest till 21 years of age. Once you pass that, it is weakened. Is it gone? Not totally gone, weakened. The suffering that you go through is largely emotional and psychological. If you're psychologically very stable, emotionally balanced, you will see you will handle it quite effortlessly because there is no physical turmoil going on in the system. But the same thing, if they lose their husband, that runanubandha is physically painful because that is a different type of runanubandha. This is why in this culture, women are not required to do karmas. Karma is done for the dead, not so much for you. But if you're below 21 years of age, it's very, very important you do it because it's both for the dead and for you. It's very important for you because the person who died, whatever happens, happens. But your life can be in a constant turmoil because there is a physical memory which torments you at a different level. Even if you're mentally stable, emotionally very balanced, still there is a certain torment going within you. In the yogic culture, first 8 years, or actually 8.5 years, is considered childhood. After your 8.5, only your parents thought you were a child, but you are secretly many things. Adults think that you are a child, but you know you are not one. Your childhood in many ways ends at 8.5. So if you take two solar cycles, which is 24 years or little less than that, and add 8.5 years to it, it will become 32 and 3/4 or something like this. 32 years and 7 months or somewhere there, the exact calculations we can make, but it's nearly 33 years. So when these two cycles end, plus the balavastha, living that when it ends, it is a possibility. This is a time when your life could take on a different level of propulsion. Those who are successful, they find traction and suddenly they explode into different levels of success or well-being. All this can happen because within the system, it has completed a certain cycle, either it can take off or it can crash. So sadhana for before 33 years of age is one kind, that is more preparatory in nature, so that when that moment comes, they will be able to make it into a positive time in their life. Because how positive it becomes at the age of 32 to 33 years of age, this will largely determine the trajectory of one's life and impact in the entire life. Your entire life will be largely, the trajectory of that will be decided at that. If life doesn't really take off at that level, then you may do well, but you will never fly. You will, uphill task. Not that you can never fly, that's a wrong thing to say, but difficult. You need more fuel to fly. Your physiological structures, your energy structures, your internal geometry, if you brought it to a certain level of maturity by the time you're 33, then life takes off much more effortlessly. Otherwise, it will need much more effort. This is why we set up sadhana for below 33 years of age, so that they prepare, they organize their internal geometry, they organize their energies, they conserve themselves in such a way, when life wants to burst forth, you have the necessary fuel to do it. It may be 46 for you, because if you do not handle your biology well, 46 may become more troublesome than possibilities. But there are many possibilities. When a woman reaches 46 years of age, she can break through her limitations of whatever the feminine nature held her down with certain aspects of life, all that she can break through in a big way because her energies are transforming naturally. I'm talking about natural support, I'm not talking about what individual people may do. Individual people may defy all this and go on, that's different. But naturally, this is the way it is moving.
Women are far more existential because their body speaks the language of the moon. Keeping of time, we should not misunderstand keeping of time with clocks and watches. They don't know a thing, they're just going mechanically. But the human body knows time in a different way, which is not a mechanical process. Well, though the planetary or the movements of the earth and the moon itself is a mechanical process in some way, the consequence or the impact that it has on our life is not mechanical. It's very alive. Its impact is very experientially powerful.
If this energy system witnesses 1008 full moons, which approximately happens in 84 years of time,
You would have completed 7 solar cycles and 1008 lunar cycles.
that means your energy system matures to a point where even if you do not know any spiritual process, it matures to a point where it can easily flower. It can happen very easily after death. If your grandfather died after 84, you can be quite sure that he is not coming back. He may not attain to mukti, but he is not coming back, he is into various stages. If he had sadhana, if he had some awareness, if he left with some awareness, even a little bit of awareness, for sure he is not coming back.
If you just manage to live to complete 7 solar cycles and 1008 lunar cycles, then you can break a certain bond with the earth. Your bond with the planet is broken largely and very easily, with very little assistance. Even if you know nothing about anything, with very little assistance, you can go beyond the cycles of birth and death, because your bond with the planet and the material of the planet, the memory of which you carry within you and the memory of you, the material also carries, you will break that bond. Once this bond is broken, then the work that needs to be done is very simple.